did you in your head size up Floyd? Like, you know what I'm saying? If we was ever, keep it real, boy, keep it real.
I'm never that type of guy.
Hold me back.
Canelo Alvarez has been warned by Floyd Mayweather after practicing with Terence Crawford and working out with him.
Been happy for him, been a fan of his, and I never imagined us fight.
Yeah.
I never looked at him like, man.
In fact, Terence Crawford and his team asked Floyd Mayweather to their training camp so that Mayweather could get better ready for the fight on September 12th. The famous boxer was asked to not only spar with Terence Crawford and watch him train and fight, but also to put him through them and give him tips that will help him win in September. According to a video shared on social media, the two were first seen standing and talking near the ring, with Crawford and his trainers paying close attention to what Mayweather said. Next, the two were seen in the boxing ring. Before going into the ring to spar, Floyd Mayweather helped Crawford work on his defense poses, posture, footwork, and movements. When Crawford tried to get through Mayweather's defenses, he threw his hands around a lot, which worked very well. Later, when he was on the defensive against Floyd's punches, he stopped moving his hands. After their fight, Floyd Mayweather was asked about Crawford's workout. Crawford is one hell of a boxer. I see a lot of myself and some of my opponents in him. He's one of the best of his age. I respect that he's hungry and wanting to leave a lasting boxing legacy.
I take Floyd Mayweather in his absolute prime, and I take Manny Pacquiao in his absolute prime.
Floyd Mayweather.
Floyd still beats him.
Floyd beat everybody.
You don't believe there's a guy at 140, 147 in the history of boxing that could have beat Floyd in his prime?
It'd be tough. Floyd, man, that boy, man, that's the GOAT, man. That boy bad.
What makes it, I mean, what, because, and I told people, I said, look at Floyd. I said, Floyd, it's not that he trains, I mean, it's his life. And from the very beginning, he's like,
also, someone asked him if he thought Crawford had what it took to beat Canelo Alvarez, and he said yes. Canelo is something I've always told you. He's an excellent fighter, yet he has flaws. Canelo has flaws, whether he's 23 or 35, and Crawford's strategy is intended to exploit them. You saw him in his last bout and how mediocre he looked while picking his winner. He remarked, Crawford for sure. Crawford has won this. He already has the tools and knows the secrets.
When I fought Canelo, I was 36 and Canelo was 23, around the same age. Some of these guys won world titles and was undisputed champion. I think, the Tank age, the young little champions. Canelo was 23 with 43 fights and 30 knockouts.
The footage of Crawford and Mayweather garnered a lot of buzz online, with fans commenting on how fantastic it was to watch two boxing greats practice together, especially since Crawford had a similar encounter with Andre Ward right before his moment. Crawford and Floyd's training seemed to be going well. I'm glad Crawford is taking the right moves, and I hope he wins on fight night. A fan stated that Canelo is clearly unprepared for what Crawford has in store for him. A second said, that ring is suffering from too much greatness. I believe Crawford would win if there was ever a reason to make this happen. Another added, Crawford must listen to Floyd to beat Canelo. He also wants to hear from Val. There's something those guys know that others don't. I believe it is their skill and style. But Crawford simply needs to make this work, really.
And the world said he was inexperienced. I was 36 with 40-something fights. And to tell you the truth, I was over the hill. And so when I fight guys, when I'm in my 30s and they're in their 30s, You know what they say? Oh, this guy all washed up.
Another person remarked, "I admire how the necessary boxes are giving Terence Crawford the support he needs. I just believe he'll win today. By decision." Many thanks to Floyd Mayweather for meeting Canelo in a World Boxing Council and World Boxing Association light middleweight title showdown in September 2013. It was the 45th fight of the American's illustrious career, and he was up against the young Mexican, who was facing his most difficult challenge yet. It was viewed as a difficult test for Mayweather going in, but it turned out to be a one-sided affair, with the American winning on points, even though the scorecards had it much closer than most boxing fans thought.
Floyd, what do you think of Canelo's performance against Billy Joe Saunders?
I didn't even see it. What do you fight on the app? You said he fight on the app now, right?
Yeah.
Well, the real fighters fight on Showtime.
The more his legacy grows,
Mayweather controlled to fight from start to finish, outclassing Canelo throughout 12 rounds and winning by majority decision. Despite being the clear winner at the end of the fight, Judge C.J. Ross scored it 114 to 114, surprising those in attendance, including Mayweather. In an interview with Fight Hype, the 47-year-old did not mince words when it came to Canelo's boxing skills, originally summarizing the fight in 3 terms: he was nothing. Mayweather went on to share his thoughts on the Mexican's abilities. "You can take a guy like Canelo. I will tell you the truth about him. The idiot was simple to deal with. You're all applauding this guy, yet he was nothing. I was approaching 40, and I had no problem cooking this dude."
It's really that they don't want. It's not that they don't want to see Tank win because they feel like it's beating me because I dominated the fight game for so long. But these same writers out here, they praise Canelo. He can pick and choose who he want to fight.
would you agree with that?
Oh, no, Canelo?
Right.
Oh, that's the easy one.
We're gonna try and get.
People, a lot of times guys be like, well, I'm bigger. I got a longer reach. I'm a better fighter. Do that.
Mayweather quit a few years later, but Canelo remains one of boxing's biggest names, having won world titles at middleweight, super middleweight, and light heavyweight, as well as becoming undisputed in the 168 pounds weight class after losing for the first time to Mayweather. Canelo went on to win 15 more fights, including world titles at middleweight, super middleweight, and light heavyweight. He now looks to be prepared to fight another major boxing match, this time against fellow pound-for-pound great Crawford, which is expected to take place later this year. Some experts think the weight differential may be too much for Crawford, who will be moving out from 154 pounds to 168 pounds for the bout after just competing once in the super welterweight division.
It's really that they don't want. It's not that they don't want to see Tank win because they feel like it's beating me because I dominated the fight game for so long. But these same writers out here, they praise Canelo. He can pick and choose who he want to fight. And I'm gonna tell you the truth.
Because Canelo is a naturally much bigger guy than Crawford, many think he will win by knockout, like he did when he faced a much smaller opponent in Amir Khan, who had also gone up to divisions for the fight. After being asked if he was concerned about Canelo's power going into the fight, Mayweather gave his assessment. "Not at all," he stated in the ring. "It was nothing he hadn't felt before. It's nothing I'd never felt before after over 20 years. In the sport."
Which fight was more difficult between Mayweather or Bivol, and why?
I think both are similar. Just Bivol is bigger, so I think Bivol.
Mayweather's words may boost Crawford's confidence, especially given Canelo's failure to stop his previous 5 opponents. The 34-year-old from Guadalajara, Mexico, currently holds the Unified World Boxing Council, World Boxing Association, and World Boxing Organization 168-pound titles and is expected to defend his title against fellow pound-for-pound superstar Terence Bud Crawford later this year in what could be one of the biggest fights in boxing's long history. Canelo's sole other career loss came in 2022 when he was severely defeated by former WBA light heavyweight champion Dimitri Bivol.
Canelo did what he had to do to get the victory.
What do you want next? It seems like that's going to be the fight. Terence Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez, the biggest fight in boxing.
Well, Canelo's the face of boxing. He's the best fighter for Terence Crawford out there. He's the biggest fight for Terence Crawford out there. So that's why Terence Crawford want to take the opportunity to share a ring with another great.
How do you beat him?
You'll see.
It has been nearly 12 years since Canelo Alvarez's first career loss to the legendary Floyd Mayweather. Junior Canelo was only 23 years old when he was given the chance to face boxing's P for P megastar. Quite simply, the money and the chance were too excellent to pass up. Almost predictably, given his lack of experience at the highest level, Alvarez fell short in that big match at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas in September 2013.
Well, everyone's talking about the weight differences. What's your kind of response to that, Terence?
That's why we fight the fight. So September 12th, we all gonna see if the weight gonna make a difference or not.
Do you want to fight him twice and then retire? Is that kind of the ideal thing for you?
One fight at a time, one fight at a time.
What did you make of, I know you didn't say much on tonight, the effectiveness of William School? He came to, to decision as opposed to win the fight. Do you agree with that?
While one judge scored the fight, the other handed Mayweather a comfortable victory. Since then, Canelo has certainly thought on that night and what could have been. It's evident that he and many other astute observers felt the chance came too soon for the Mexican legend. At 34 years old, Alvarez is now boxing's PPV cash cow, set for even bigger challenges after signing the historic 4-fight deal with Turki Alalshik and Riyadh. Season's first fight under that deal is a super middleweight title unification against Cuban William Scully in Riyadh on May 3rd.
Canelo's a hell of a fighter. There's a lot of great Mexican fighters. That's not for me to rate fighters. I just take my hat off to so many fighters that paved the way, for me to be where I'm at, just, throughout life. Canelo's a hell of a fighter.
But many view that as only a warm-up for the big one, an absolute blockbuster versus welterweight and super welterweight champion Terence. But Crawford facing Canelo would see, but go up to weight classes for the biggest bout of his career. And it is unquestionably the biggest match boxing could offer right now. It's planned for September if Alvarez takes care of business on May 3rd. In an interview with Mike Coher of Ring magazine, the Guadalajara native confessed that he thinks the night against Mayweather would have been quite different right now. He thinks he's a different Canelo, and a fight with Crawford, who has a style comparable to Floyd Jr., might go a long way toward demonstrating.
What was that like? I trained so hard, and now obviously I try to beat him because, if you beat him, you want to be the best in the world at 23.
What do you think was so impressive about him?
His experience, he's so smart. He have everything in a fighter, a complete fighter. He don't have power in the punches, but when you that kind of fighter, you don't need it.
You think that was the toughest fight you faced?
No.
What do you think?
I think it's tough fights and difficult.
When Coper proposed that idea, Alvarez answered by demonstrating how I am different now that I am an experienced fighter. Today, I always think that I only needed more years before the fight with Mayweather, but things happen, and I learned a lot. I don't blame myself because I learned a lot, but yeah, it's a chance to show what kind of fighter I am right now.
Get like Floyd, and some boxers look down on Floyd doing these exhibitions, saying it's not real, it's just a cash grab. What are your thoughts on that? Would that be something that you would do?
Look, he's retired. He can do whatever he wants, right? And I think I'm gonna miss boxing when I'm retired a lot, and maybe I can do one or two, but
as the highly anticipated fight between Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez continues to elicit excitement and controversy in the boxing community, more boxing pros are sharing. Crawford, known for his versatility and technical prowess, plans to go up to weight classes to fight the undisputed super middleweight champion, a risky move that has split boxing experts.
He was boxing well, and then he just stopped doing what he was doing earlier. I don't know. I can't call it.
Do you think Canelo slipped as a fighter?
No, I don't. I just think that, William was doing a good job neutralizing Canelo power punches. He was just moving a lot.
Do you think that's a style you have to employ in points of the fight?
I don't know, because if you watch the styles that beat him, they didn't move a lot. They moved a little bit, but not.
Fan of that fight. There are too many weight classes apart. And although the skills, Crawford is one of the best fighters that I've seen. Now, Canelo is, fighting at 168. Crawford just moved up to 154, and he had some trouble with that in that fight. Now, where do you plan on going? 164, 65, 66?
Former heavyweight world champion Deontay Wilder is one of the big voices chiming in. In a recent interview with S News, Wilder voiced his concern over Crawford's huge weight gain from 147 to 168. That's simply too much, Wilder said. Although you can flip from southpaw to orthodox, hitting the heavier guys feels different. It's as if you're a baby. I'm not saying you can't knock someone out or punish them, but I think it takes more time to advance in weight. Punches are absorbed in a very different way than when facing smaller opponents. Crawford has come a step closer to narrowing the weight gap since Wilder's words, winning the World Boxing Association super welterweight belt.
Soon in the future, it'll be a big fight if they do.
That's going to be a good one. If they do, I'll be there. You know what I mean? That's going to be a good one. Both of them great guys. They got great talent. And both of them.
Despite this success, he and Canelo Alvarez still have a 14-pound weight discrepancy, which might play a critical part in the fight's outcome. Canelo, known for his unwavering hitting power and stamina, has established himself as a dominant force in the super middleweight category. Despite two career defeats, both by decision, he has regularly displayed exceptional defense and resilience, cementing his place as one of boxing's most formidable adversaries. This clash promises to be a spectacular spectacle, but it also offers a significant test for Crawford.
Tournament, got that killer instinct, and in this sport, that's what you need. You gotta have a killer instinct. If you don't, you're gonna get knocked out.
Canelo ain't gonna come down to 160.
Yeah,
Canelo ain't gonna come down, you know, maybe 166 max if he accepts.
Yeah.
I think Canelo wins that fight based on just the size, power and size. Now, skill-wise, I think Crawford's a better skilled fighter, but the difference in size will be the deciding factor, and that's why I'm not even a fan of that fight. I think
to succeed, the Omaha native must show incredible adaptation and resilience against a fighter of Canelo's skill in a higher weight class. And Wilder's worries about the weight difference are justified. The appeal of this bout is obvious, pitting two of boxing's finest talents against each other. This collision of styles and raw strength has fans excited for what could be one of the sport's most thrilling battles. It's astonishing that Canelo Alvarez already has a fixed opponent for 2025, not for the May date, but for his second fight of the year, planned for September on the weekend of Mexico's Independence celebration in Las Vegas. Teddy Atlas, a legendary boxing trainer turned commentator, has spoken with Fight Hub TV about the possible mega fight between the two stars, noting that he would find it difficult to face the American southpaw. Few people have the appetite or desire to challenge themselves. Mr. Crawford, I'll never fight him. Father Time may catch him, but I'm not sure whether a weight class can. It's a tough task because Canelo is a fantastic fighter, bigger and stronger, and he can punch and timing you, but just because you're smaller, Crawford will devise a plan that forces the opposing player to use his size. Speaking on Fight Hub TV, McIntyre praised the undefeated Crawford, who is likely to face Canelo in May or September. Crawford holds all of the tools necessary to win the undisputed third-weight championship.
Everything he had to accomplish from 140, 147, now 154, that's even greater for him. He wants to do something, collect belts at 154, he can attempt that. But there's no money in that compared to the Canelo fight. And Canelo is trying to fight other guys, and at that point it's more of a big fight, for the money that's gonna generate. But as a fight fan, I'm not really a fan of that match.
Any serious boxing fan knows Crawford can beat Canelo. According to boxing insider Ray Jackson, Bomack told Fight Hub that you have to know boxing to make such comment. Canelo Alvarez will receive $150 million for the fight against Bud, a price that the Guadalajara native had previously stated at the end of 2020 for if they wanted him to consider accepting the battle. Canelo Alvarez will get $150 million guaranteed for a fight with Crawford. Jackson wrote on X, if the payment is made, Saul Alvarez will return to the top of the highest paid boxers and athletes in 2025, after dropping off the list the previous year.
Do you think he's too small to compete with you?
No, he's a good fighter. He's a very good fighter. He's a smart fighter, and I take everything seriously. But you know, we'll see what happens.
Canelo, I hope you make it happen for us, because we want to see it.
Thanks.
So Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford's possible showdown in September might be one of the most fascinating bouts of the past decade. The year 2025 began with a series of exciting developments for all boxing fans due to the large number of fights that could take place over the next 12 months, which have been anticipated for some time, and one of those fights is Canelo versus Crawford, one of the biggest and most anticipated boxing matches in recent history. Taking place on September 12th at the Allegiant Stadium, the bout between Terence Bud Crawford and Saul Canelo Alvarez is begun, and Floyd Mayweather has commented. What are your thoughts on Floyd Mayweather calling the fight in favor of Terence Crawford? Please share your ideas on all of them in the comments box. And that is all for now. Stay up to current on boxing news, moments, events, and activities by subscribing to our YouTube channel. And don't forget to switch on notifications to be told when we post quality material like this. Until next time, peace.